Hello, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's always just it's always funny. So I'm going to explain to you a number of ways that I have used spirituality to help me on my healing journey with chronic illness, because I do think that Western perspectives are really missing out on really important healing because of our lack of respect and understanding and belief in spiritual areas. Now, I'm not saying this to be like, you should believe in this or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, the amount of joy and healing and help and assistance I have had from these areas is a gift that I don't want to keep to myself, even if it's more socially acceptable to do so. So, the first thing I want to say is using medical astrology. So, as a lot of you know, me and my partner are really into astrology. The reason being, I'm autistic, okay? I like facts. I like stuff that is like real and is working and logical. So, that is part of why I personally am spiritual, because I have had like undeniable spiritual experiences that have helped me and have made me who I am and have shaped who I am. And to me, like, magic and spirituality is just science that have we don't have the tools yet to measure that science. Like, for example, like quantum physics explains a lot of magic and a lot of spiritual perspectives. So, a lot of it is science. It's not that binary oppositional thinking that Western perspectives often try and promote. Anyway, so it is the same thing in my opinion. So, medical astrology, me and my partner have found astrology like super accurate for so many different usages, and we would highly recommend it to improve your own life as well. And with medical astrology, we were given a lot of guidance about my illness. For example, that it is my mind has a massive effect on it, and the more kind of despair that I go down, the worse my physical health outcomes will be. I know that a lot of people understand that anyway, but mine is much more like of a direct link than most people, because yeah, obviously everyone is impacted by stress, but my body seems particularly vulnerable to it and vulnerable to what my mind is doing. So, so that's something that she really emphasized, that my mind is, not to sound arrogant or anything, but she was saying that my mind is quite powerful, but to both effects. So it is a bit scary for me because I do have quite a negative, difficult mind. It's really hard to handle, but very useful information to know because, oh my goodness, I'm just going to give up on my hair. The hairdresser, like, they always get fringes wrong. Like, anyway. I'm just gonna look eccentric and that's gonna be fine. So yeah. So with the aspect of like knowing that the mind and stress is especially important, and I'm especially sensitive to that, it just means that you know to try and pay more attention to that, to divert your mind to better things. You know that that is more important, like even more important than most people, if you know that you're particularly vulnerable to that. And it's accurate and it makes sense. So she was also like, she could also like tell quite a lot of things in terms of like, you can look in like areas of like, I'm really worried about it impacting my feet to the point where I can't walk or stand, which is possible. But, and obviously that's quite a big thing to worry about and really scary to like wake up every day not knowing if you'll be able to walk or not. Anyway, it's a lot for your mind to handle being sick. And she could like look around at like the feet area of your chart and be like, she couldn't really see anything. So that's kind of reassuring because it means like that's unlikely if nothing's turning up. Obviously, there could be like different interpretations of that on the different parts of the chart, which could mean something will happen to my feet. But the point is, that area she checked and she couldn't see anything herself. And she is like highly experienced, knowing some of the like biggest names in astrology as well. And then yeah, she just gave me loads of advice and like loads of like, she could tell that something, because at the time I was like, didn't even know what was really happening. So she could tell it was something to do with the nerves. It was like the body being like, you need to stop freaking out about everything because I can't deal with this. And she was like, it was the body kind of fighting back and telling me that I need to stop, which I'm trying. It's so hard when you're such a like freaked out, worry, like trauma being, but that's just my path. So I've got to learn how to like calm the F down. And yeah, so it was just, there's so much I could say about the appointment. I will put some little snippets in at some point, and just let me know if you want me to link to her, because she's amazing. And if you know your time of birth, you can ask astrologers to look into your medical experiences. And also, to she also saw that it was something to do with, like, there's a spiritual element to this illness as well, karmic as well. And karmic doesn't necessarily mean that I was like really bad in my past life and therefore I'm ill in this life. Also, that narrative is quite ableist as well and simplistic, but karma can mean like the karma from your family or the impact of your family on you. And that was something that came up, which I knew anyway. Like, my family has a big impact on my health outcomes. I knew that from the ACE test. I was like, I'm probably screwed in this life. Anyway, also look at my note. It's cool. And yeah, so that are some initial ways that I've used spirituality, and there's so much more I can say about that, but I'm just gonna, it's already quite long, this video, so we're gonna move on. Anything, like, any other really important things she said? Oh yeah, she was like, this is not gonna kill you, which is reassuring in some ways, but like, my main fear is becoming so disabled that I can't function, and then I live for like a long time, because apparently some of my astrology said that I'm really hard to kill, which could be good, but actually, if I can't function like one day, but I live for a long time, like, I would say that's worse. Anyway, so, but it is reassuring, because I'm like, if I keep on top of stuff and make it very manageable, then that's great. Then I will live and hopefully be healthy and da 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 da. Yeah, so you can ask, you need to like record or find really important dates and times of your illness as well for them to look into that, because whatever has a beginning, an astrologer can look into that and research that for you. So like, you need to, if you can, figure out when your illness started and ideally like what time and stuff like that. Thankfully for me, it was quite obvious because it was at night that it all kicked off. Yeah, so that's one way. Really recommend that, because what a amazing, and again, super accurate. I've not really had an experience with a professional astrologer and it hasn't been accurate. So yeah, obviously it's all very nuanced and like up to the interpreter as well, but I would highly recommend.